Technosthetic Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, and this is your host, Randy.
Hello. Dude, it's kind of weird because, we're trying something new, and, I hear your voice, but then I see you talk.
Yeah, we're trying to make this a little bit higher quality, so we're doing a little bit of a thing, but now there's, this video delay that we have to, compensate for, and we just spent, way too long trying to sync it up. Anyway.
Way too long.
Welcome to the podcast. It should look pretty crispy if you go on YouTube and watch us, because we're going to do a 4K one this time.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope, hopefully. I mean, I think you're 1080p, but you still look pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's still worth rendering in 4K. Yeah. So it'll look good. So anyway, dude, what's the topics, dude? We got topics.
Yeah, so, we're kind of phone people here on Technosthetic. We kind of like what's in our pockets. So we're going to discuss the Pixel 6, Pixel 6 Pro launch, lineup, initial impressions. Now that it's been a while since the M1 MacBooks have been out, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. So we kind of want to discuss, what the benchmarks are we've seen and kind of how they stack up to what we expected from the keynote. Also want to cover Apple Watch Series 7 first impressions, because I finally got mine today after ordering on launch day. And Nvidia Geforce Now gets a massive upgrade. Kind of want to touch on that because cloud gaming can be pretty compelling.
Okay. So awesome. What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Pixel 6.
Pixel 6, dude. We've all seen all the videos.
We have.
I watched MKBHD's video. I watched a couple other videos. I mean, I like the design a lot.
I do like the design a lot.
It's like we were saying before, it's kind of like a mid-century modern look almost.
It is it really is, dude. It looks like it belongs in your living room.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to say though that I am a little upset because they pulled a Apple from 2020.
Okay.
And I'm not too happy about that. So.
Dang, they pulled an Apple. That's not cool, dude. So what happened?
Yeah. Well, Apple kind of recognized their mistake with the 13s, right? So now, I've wanted the small boy, right? I've wanted the smaller Pro. You and I have discussed this before that we just wanted the smaller phone. But if you wanted, the best cameras, you would have to buy the Pro Max.
Okay.
Now with iPhone 13 lineup, you have the same cameras across all Pro devices, right? And the only difference is screen size and battery size. Well, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro have different camera setups and different and different screens for each size, right? Yeah. So the smaller one refreshes at 90 hertz, the big one refreshes at 120. The smaller one has 2 worse cameras, and the big one has 3 better cameras. So it's kind of unfortunate, right? Yeah. So pretty much forces you to get the Pro.
That sucks.
My friend just ordered one because he's a Google fanboy, right? He would never touch an iPhone. He would never do anything like that. I've been trying real hard to convert him. I did convert one of my boys recently, but he just ordered the Pixel 6 non-Pro in the green. So that kind of missed me a little bit too, man, because his main driving factor was he wanted the green phone because admittedly the green one looks good.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. But you only get the Pro comes in white, which is awesome. The black, which I think looks super good because it has that gray accent up top.
Right.
And then you have the yellow sunshine one, which is kind of girly, but it kind of looks kind of different, Yeah. But the green one is that seafoam minty, almost like Dave 2D green, maybe a muted Dave 2D green.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I kind of like that, So I think that if I were in that camp, I would kind of be at a crossroads,
right?
And you shouldn't put your customers in that position, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like how I hate when companies do the following: when they lock the cool colors behind the Pro or the non-Pro. Hate that. I don't like when I have to get the biggest phone or device to have the best device. Don't like that either. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Which is kind of cool, I don't want to segue into our other topic too quickly, but it's really nice to see that you can spec out the 14-inch MacBook the same way you can spec out the 16.
And I'm still, huge. The thing is, not to dive into that right now, but I'm still. Has it been confirmed? Because I know that the bigger one has the higher power mode, right? And the 14.
I actually didn't hear about that, so maybe you could touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's run down the Pixel though.
Right.
So, as far as phones go, it's not bad.
It's actually pretty nice. Like
it's pretty nice. I think the software is my favorite.
Yeah, right? Stock Android is definitely the best Android experience. You know, like you and I, you know, like I've owned a Fold for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're still on a Fold.
Yeah.
But like we basically go there for the hardware. You know, like I think that you and I are more software oriented in Apple's camp. But if Apple didn't exist, I think the best software experience is probably on the Pixel.
Yeah, so I thought, you know what was super impressive? When Marquez did the on his video, he did the voice transcription, like in real time. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't see his video.
Yeah, check it out, because he has a section of it where he's just like talking really fast, and like the Pixel was just like writing down everything he said like perfectly, and the punctuation and everything. Like I saw it messed up on punctuation once,
right?
But I was like, this is like unreal how good it was. I thought,
yeah,
and that's just Google's like computational stuff they can do with voice and everything. It's just like really good.
Now, is that Google doing that on device, or are they offshooting that to their servers?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I did see, I forget who it was, Mr. Mobile. Maybe it was Mr. Mobile. He was taking pictures, or maybe it was Dieter from The Verge. Anyway, one of the two. They were taking photos, and they pointed out that one of the most annoying things with the Pixel is it still can't do real-time photo processing. So,
oh yeah, that's right. So you take the photo, and then you go to your gallery real quick. Wheel.
Yeah,
you can see it like pop.
Yeah,
in.
So like it's like you take a photo, and then you want to see, like, you want to check your composition, or you want to check exposure, or you want to make sure you got, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say something in focus, because like with like cell phones, everything's in focus because it's like a pinky nail size sensor.
Right.
But I do want to say that that's kind of disappointing. You know, like why?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah. You know, I don't know. The Pixel looks pretty good on the most part. I think that even though that they have like their drawbacks with the photography, like the Pixel still takes like killer photos.
Oh, for sure, I mean? For sure.
Like as much as like the processing overhead is there and everything, like the the photos are really good. I kind of saw some comparison photos though, and there was a little bit of that like HDR kind of over processed.
Yeah, the Pixel tends to oversaturate photos a little bit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm kind of the camp though that if I was taking photos using the main sensor, right? I think that if you gave me a lot of 20 photos, I would probably prefer 12 from the Pixel and 8 from the iPhone. And that's not saying like the iPhone takes bad photos, right? I'm just saying that like straight out of camera processing, I would probably, the Pixel ones would appeal to me a little bit more. But I think that if you take your photos into Lightroom or some other sort of like Snapseed or some other external processor on your phone, I think the iPhone photos give you a lot more lateral adjustments that you're capable of making into something that you really like.
You know, I saw this is something I saw on Reddit. It was a photo of basically like an older iPhone and the new iPhone taking the same photo and zoomed in, and you can definitely see this like oil painting effect when you like pixel peep on iPhones and modern smartphones. There's like the computational photography they're doing. It's like it's making crispy photos, but sort of at the cost of like I don't know, some kind of realism, like with, you know, how it looks, I guess.
I mean, I know what you mean, but it also greatly depends on light. Okay. Like, I'm going to try to see if I could, it's going to be really hard to do on camera, especially with this delay.
It was,
But, like, let me see if I can pull this up for you really quick, guys.
Yeah, just hold it up. It'll, as long as your eyes aren't in the shot. Yeah, that looks like some food, dude.
So, like, this is some food, dude, right? But, like,
you can send me that on Element.
If I pinch into this, it like doesn't get oily.
It doesn't? Okay. No. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You could send me the full res on Element and I'd throw it in, but yeah, no, that looks pretty good. Yeah, maybe the lighting was good.
So like, here's something that, so anyway, you know, for people who are listening, guys, it's like my point that I'm trying to make is that cameras have gotten to the point now where if you're taking a image that doesn't have a lot of dynamic range, it doesn't have a lot of depth of field, and it's really well lit, you're going to see cell phones punch well above their weight in that category. But the problem is that you don't always have ideal conditions. Chances are you never have ideal conditions, right?
No,
so like
it's got to be
outside of
like,
ideal conditions, you're going to have a bad time. And
no, it's true. I mean, I'm not dogging on the iPhone's photos. The Pixel, watch Marquez's video because he had some great side by sides, right?
But between the iPhone?
Yeah, he had he had an iPhone, and then he had like the Pixel, and he showed, like, especially at night, how the Pixel tended to overexpose everything, right?
I saw that too. Like, but like the Pixel always has done that, right? Like, it makes it brighter than reality, and like the iPhone kind of looks more natural. I don't know.
It does. That's kind of the vibe I got from it. And I'm not sure if it's really up to preference, because there's pros and cons to kind of both approaches, I guess. But to me, it was like I preferred the iPhone for the realistic.
I do too, and you're right. So, it does come down to preference.
So let me pull up that photo you sent me. So hopefully this works properly. Boop.
Yeah, so dude. So like, just so you know, for context, Eric and I are kind of like we have this thing of like fast food breakfast foods. So this is a hidden menu item for those of you who have a McDonald's nearby. You got a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, and you sub out the sausage for chicken because they make the chicken early. So you can have like a chicken and waffles, egg and cheese sandwich, and it's nutty. Like,
no, I mean, if you get close enough, you're gonna start seeing it.
Well,
no,
that's over 100% right there.
Yeah,
but like if you stick to 100% for a cell phone, that holds together pretty well, I think.
Yeah, no, that looks good actually. So I mean, it's well exposed shot, and that's like the natural, I guess, depth of field. Right?
Yeah. That's just standard.
You're
photo
just close enough to it to where it's like okay. So I mean, it looked pretty good. So I can't really argue with it. Yeah. So like, it really just depends. I think the Pixel, has gotten a reputation for having like the best camera in Android space. So
it has. Yeah. And I don't want to cut you off on this, but
go ahead.
I think essentially what's happening, dude, is like we're hitting that wall of physics, right?
Yeah.
Where like it got to a point where like Pixel was really doing a lot of computational stuff, and they were always using larger sensors with bigger photodiodes that gathered more light. And now every other camera manufacturer is using that. And by every other camera manufacturer, I mean like your big players like Xiaomi, Samsung, Apple, and Google.
Yeah.
And probably like I'm probably missing some other ones, that aren't necessarily popular in the US or whatever. I threw in Xiaomi there just because I know they are as well. But where it's harder for the Pixel to pull ahead because everyone else has started to use, pretty much the limitation of cell phone hardware. Okay. Like I think a good example of this is my coworker Donnie. I think I told you about him. Like, he's the guy who just retired, but we still talk all the time, and he does the photography stuff.
Yeah.
He just upgraded from an iPhone 10 to a 13 Pro.
Okay.
And he's telling me that the hardest part to get used to for him is how top heavy the phone feels compared to his 10 because the cameras are so heavy. Like the phone just feels top heavy.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's interesting. I guess it did kind of look that way, but I didn't really think it would be. You know what I mean?
Like, again, I keep showing stuff on camera, and I just stopped doing that. But like, that's kind of like dead center in my finger, dude.
Okay, yeah. You're just saying the balance is good.
Yeah. No.
It's not.
I'm saying it flies off the camera side will go down all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just the nature of having like a lot of camera hardware on the top now. It seems like with the cameras, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It could be more dense up there.
It definitely
is.
Think
it would be kind of opposite. The battery is like a big portion of this phone, and like as far as density goes, you think like that'd be the densest thing in the phone. But what do I know?
It probably has to do with the cameras being like near the edge. I don't know.
There's just more stuff up there, I guess. Yeah, whatever. So real quick, dude, this Pixel. So I wasn't really excited for it in any meaningful way, but other than like seeing what Google would do with their Google designed chip, and it seems like it's really not like impressive in any way, not in any kind of major benchmarks type of way.
No, it's kind of like a higher middle end processor. Yeah. It's made by Samsung. It just kind of has like its own. Google kind of said, give us this ISP, give us this many cores, give us this much RAM.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost like they have less like raw CPU performance and kind of a little bit more like graphics and like maybe other metric performance in it.
Yeah, it's funny.
And the battery performance isn't even that impressive. It seems like it's
shockingly
kind of bad. Like not bad, but it's like average.
It's good for an Android phone. It's good for an Android phone.
I don't even think like it's like top tier for an Android phone.
Wow.
It's kind of like Marquez said it's like average basically, which is kind of like not as good as other flagships.
So as someone who hasn't seen as many review videos on it as you have, this is the problem with marketing, because I went off of it based off of Google Pixel's page where it's like up to X hours of video playback, and it shows you how useless that number is.
No. It seems like it's just like not. It's going to be basically like barely getting you to the end of the day, like an. Is that on
the
phone.
Pro or the normal 6?
Good question. I don't know. Don't take my word for it. I don't have one in front of me.
Right.
I'm going off of what like I saw in a couple vids. So, and I just watched them because they showed up in my feed. I'm like, let's see it, dude. I got to talk about it on the podcast. I got to have an opinion.
I watched some stuff.
It just seems like a phone that doesn't really appeal to me. I mean, I really do appreciate the software experience that Google gives you, with the integration and everything. It's like, it seems like a really nice experience.
Yeah.
But like when I'm on Android, I'm probably there for a reason other than that. Like to me, because Apple has the software game like kind of won
figured out
to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like as much as like I don't like, to me, Google is doing okay. Like they have their own kind of magic, but in kind of gimmicky ways to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's my kind of opinion on it, I guess.
So
like ways that don't matter to me. Like things that Apple has that actually matters to me is like AirPlay and like the cool like what's the command center thing that they're adding and like all kinds of other features.
Universal control.
Yeah. Like that like I really love those features and I use them. I like using AirDrop and like I don't know. There's just more meaningful features on the Apple side, but then there's stuff that I don't really use on the Android side that Google's putting in. That's like, oh, we can do all this stuff on the back end computationally and with like AI and shit, but it just doesn't matter to me so much.
Part of my problem with Google is I don't trust them. And
that's a big part for me too. That's a huge part for me.
I feel like I'm coming from a different avenue than you're coming from. So like, which I agree with you on. Like I totally agree with you on like their privacy and how they basically market you, and that's why they give away so many services, because they collect your data from using that services, and they make more money off of that than they would off of selling like Google Drive.
Right.
So, but where I don't trust them is, I don't trust them to support a product for longer than a year.
That's a big thing, dude.
Look at Nexus TV. Look at I'm sure Stadia is on its way out. Look at the Pixel C tablet. Look at the Pixel
at all their
Slate.
messaging services.
Look at all of their messaging services. Look at Nest Secure. The alarm that I bought was DOA'd last year.
That's garbage.
So or EOL'd last year. Yeah. It was out for a year and a half. Like, how do you buy into an ecosystem when honestly, guys, like Eric and I are different, right? Like we buy things constantly. But how many people out there are literally saying to themselves, I'm going to buy a home security system and use it for a year, and then I'm going to find something else?
Nobody reasonable does that.
It's scary because and to your point with software, man, like, why does everything need to be a messaging app?
No, it doesn't have to be. Like, I don't understand. That's one thing. Yeah. Like, I also don't trust Google. They're an advertising company. They're a data company. They're all these things. And obviously they have a huge incentive to gather that data.
Yeah.
You know, you hear all these different privacy things coming out of Apple. I know that they just had this whole like, I guess, you know, not really a gate, but like the, you know, everyone criticized them for their scanning stuff that they wanted to do. And, you know, data came out. We talked about that earlier. I still think Apple are trying to be privacy focused. They don't really, they're limiting the amount of data that app developers can get from us. They're keeping stuff on device, you know?
I had an interesting read with CSAM.
Okay.
And I just wanted to bring it up because you touched on it, because like I read a Reddit article on it, and when he put it this way, it made me kind of see Apple's point a little bit. So
sure,
you and I self-host our NAS, right? And we host a lot of things. I have a section for my friends to put shit on my NAS. I know you do the same because I put files on your NAS as well.
Right.
You know, I would just feel weird if I knew there was a potential that existed on a server I owned. You know, whether or not I put it there, whether or not it was actually there, I would feel weird.
So yeah, I know it's my personal policy not to invade, you know, data that's not mine on either, my shit.
But like, yeah,
I also kind of like, I limit who's on my platform, right, to people that I know and trust. So,
but with Apple, you can't.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm Apple and like I have all these customers, it's a given that stuff is going to exist. Like bad things are going to exist on your servers.
Yeah, like,
and obviously you'd want to have it off, right?
You don't really want to build a platform that people then use to harm others. And
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think so. It was interesting because anybody else would just scan their own servers, but Apple's like, no, we want to have your device like do the scanning, which you would think would be more private, but then everyone took it to be less.
Yeah,
like the opposite of what you intended happened because it creeped people out. Right,
it's a little creepy, but
it is a little creepy.
The
but
false
I
positives are
why
a
they
little
would
creepy.
Want to do it. Yeah.
I just want to touch on a few more things before we move on. What's your take on the video functionality on the Pixel 6? Because not hearing too good things about video recording on that boy.
Video recording? What's wrong with it?
Yeah. It's basically the autofocus is non-existent.
What? In video?
Yeah. Like Mr. Who's the Boss put out a really good video comparing iPhone 13 to Pixel 6, just cameras, no other feature.
Okay.
And the Pixel 6 did take some categories, like straight out of camera from main sensor, Pixel 6 one.
Okay.
But the iPhone took other lenses and versatility.
Okay.
And iPhone took things like ProRes video, Pro RAW for photos. He was able to stretch them farther, so iPhone won that category. But iPhone was a clean sweep on video in terms of stabilization, autofocus, dynamic range in video. Like the Pixel 6's footage looked very flat and then corrected with saturation and contrast. It looked not good. So if anyone's interested in, buying this phone, thinking I'm going to use it as my main shooter to record my child growing up or things of that nature, I would recommend you watch the Mr. Who's the Boss video and make your own decisions. Like I said, I don't have the phone personally, and neither does Eric, so we can't do our own testings.
No, but I know for a fact, like
that was a pretty good side-by-side comparison.
Yeah. Like the iPhone, though, the performance on the iPhone has historically been unreal when it comes to video.
Yeah.
They nail everything: exposure, focus, like the image quality. Like they're winning in video.
I also
hands down.
I also want to bring up the price of this phone. That's a really good value, man. Like that's going to make, I guarantee you, we're going to see Samsung make a phone more in line with Pixel's pricing.
Yeah.
We may see a revitalization of the XR line, maybe.
maybe, yeah,
like from Apple, because $599 for what you're getting,
right,
with the normal Pixel 6, that's kind of lucrative for people. I mean, people have been trained for the past couple years that if they want a phone that performs like a flagship phone, you're paying four figures for it.
yeah.
So
It doesn't
I
have
think
to be
getting
that
a phone,
way. Like we kind of forget,
right. So like I think Google pricing this at $599 is really them, kind of saying, hey guys, like buy our phone because it's $599.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best feature of the phone, to be honest with you.
The price.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great phone for an even better price, basically.
Yeah.
I appreciate cheaper phones. I remember when I first got the OnePlus One, the OG one.
I remember that, dude.
And that it was a big deal at the time because it was like flagship, basically. It was, their motto was
never settle.
Never settle.
Never settle, dude.
And it was like a good device for the price. And like it was very affordable at the time. And I feel like people need to be attacking that segment, and so Google, they have a good device for the price.
Someone brought it up in one of the videos I was watching. I forget who it was. I'm just going to mention it because you did.
Yeah.
If you bring up the OnePlus 9, right, guys? If you look at the OnePlus 9, it's $730.
Yeah.
It's without a doubt a worse phone than the Pixel 6 for $599. It's plastic. It's worse in every way. Cameras are worse. Battery is worse. I would argue the software experience is worse because it has Oxygen OS instead of base Android.
Right.
And like I don't know if they just put that in there because of the Pixel 6, but at the time that I saw the video, he brought up the same page and there was no cross. It was $729.
Listen,
so
dude,
I don't know if this is in response to the Pixel 6 or not, but oh my, dude.
Hasselblad, dude, medium format. Let's go.
You realize
medium format, dude.
Let me tell you. Do you remember the Moto Z camera with Moto mods? Hasselblad made a mod for that, dude. It was hot garbage. God, hot garbage.
This is why you can't fucking any branding bullshit. You can't fucking listen to a thing. Look.
There it is, dude.
Oh my God, look at these. Wow, dude.
Can I tell you what I want to do though, since I just saw that black and white filter?
Yeah.
Like if I ever get like expendable money, and like not that I don't have expendable money now, but I have hobbies and interests like camera lenses and things like that, and then like we got set for that Cybertruck did, But like I would love to get like an A7 III and then send it to like Kodiak Films and have them remove the wide color spectrum filter and have an infrared camera.
Oh, that is neat. That's a neat idea.
Like
that'd be cool.
Dude, for high contrast photos, like for that infrared look, or for black and white photos. Yeah. Like it gathers so much contrast for black and white. Like it would just be a neat monochromatic camera. I would just probably shoot black and white and maybe some infrared landscapes. But that would be so cool, dude. It'd be so neat.
Yeah, I would love to see that actually. Yeah. I think that'd be nutty.
Yeah. So guys, just want to close out that topic. Pixel 6, really great phone for the price, man. Like honestly, if you're in the market for an Android phone and you're on a budget, I can't recommend anything else.
I mean, that's cool. It's not exciting for us because we want like the best, but if you're wanting something nearly
we do have to recognize that like it's for the budget, what you're getting for the price, it's probably the best price performance phone.
If you want to stay within that sweet spot where like you're not getting diminishing returns, get the Pixel
and get guaranteed software updates.
Yeah,
which is probably the only Android phone that does that.
Exactly. So. Yep. So what's our next topic, man?
M1 Mac and Max and M1 Pro benchmarks.
My favorite topic.
Dude, I know that. Don't talk to me about it.
Oh man. So I've watched like a ton of videos about benchmarks, about like people's their first impressions, talking about everything, all the quirks and features, you know what I'm saying? And I got a couple takeaways.
Let's hear 'em, dude.
It seems like they're amazing. It seems like, okay, straight up, they're exactly what we kind of hoped for and expected, which is basically you get the performance that we wanted from these machines. The battery life is kind of great. It's kind of right where we wanted, which I actually thought it was going to be worse. So the battery being what it is, I'm surprised for the amount of how much more power these draw compared to like the original.
this is a generally organic question because you probably have watched more than I have.
Sure.
And like I haven't ordered mine yet, asterisk. So I'm kind of going between the 14 and the 16.
Yeah.
You did mention the 16 has a high power mode that the 14 doesn't. So I do want to touch on that because I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So,
but secondly,
yeah.
You mentioned battery. What's the difference in battery are we seeing between the 14 and the 16?
Seems like the 16 is better.
Okay.
And I mean, that makes sense. It's got a lot more room for battery.
Right.
But although the screen you'd think would take more energy being larger. But I don't know. I don't know the specifics on it. I just know that they both have great battery. You're not going to really be upset. The 16 does have the advantage of having a high max performance mode. There's like a toggle in some sort of power settings area that is exclusive to the 16, and you can toggle it to max performance. It doesn't seem like it's, you know what, I'm gonna have to watch some videos, but it didn't seem like you're actually getting that huge of an advantage versus like spec for spec equally matched 14 and 16 inch. It doesn't seem like there's that big of a jump to the 16, but I'm gonna have to double check. Because I don't quite remember the exact outcome. I just remember seeing the guy that I was watching, he had a 16-inch that had 32 gigs, and then his 14 had 64, and he was seeing better performance out of the one that was equipped with the 64. So
I have some numbers here.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're curious, and this is one render test in Final Cut Pro, so take it with a grain of salt. You know, your workflow may vary. Tong tested high-power mode on the 16-inch MacBook Pro with an M1 Max chip by exporting a 19-minute version. Oh, sorry, it's in Adobe Premiere. In Adobe Premiere version 15.4.1. The export took 7 minutes and 18 seconds, which was just 16 seconds faster than the same export with high-power mode turned off. So he only saw a 16-second difference, but still.
Yeah, so
it's something.
The real question, though, is because we know that the 16 comes with a larger power draw, right? So am I going to be performance bottlenecked just because of the TDP, like, I guess, chip limitation, like the power limitations of having the 90 some? Yeah.
That's a good question, and I would probably say no. So what my assumption is where we're getting the larger power brick for the 16.
Yeah.
It's just because the battery is larger. They need to charge that battery faster. That would be my guess, is that it's designed for powered throughput, not necessarily to match power draw of the MacBook. I would probably assume that the power draw of the MacBook is roughly the same. And again, this is just my assumption based off of what I know of the M1 Max and M1 Pro's chip designs.
Yeah, I'm not sure, dude. Some guy had some kind of metric up where he was looking at the power consumption, and it was like 100 and some watts, where I know that the 14's limited to like 98 or something.
Were they same spec?
Something. Well, yeah, I think they both had the Max chip, and
well, 96 to 100 and whatever could be screen. You know, the screen could
be. I thought about that too. That's a big part of it.
It's like 10 watts isn't totally out of the realm of what a screen would draw.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at those. I'm not gonna have the 16 in hand. I know that tomorrow I'm getting the 14.
That's exciting.
Fully loaded, 2 terabytes though. Not getting no 8 terabytes. Even though the more storage you get, the faster it's gonna be, technically. But it seems like that's the case.
I want to, because again, I haven't ordered one yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the 16, but it's like 55-45 at the moment. Yeah, that's why it's like 55-45 at the moment. But here's the problem, dude. You're the problem, okay?
Okay.
You got me into video editing like real hard. Like you got me into video like really just in general.
Yeah, it's fun.
And maybe not so much a use case for you, but like I would like to edit video at Kelly's, and I think the extra screen real estate might come in handy there. You know, in situations where I'm actually editing on the MacBook itself. Not saying you wouldn't have those use cases, but I think that you're not as mobile.
I take my see. The thing is, I take my laptop to and from work daily. Whenever I'm going to the office, I do not like lugging around a heavy machine.
That's why I'm still on the 14 train.
Yeah. So, but like, I agree that like, say you're somebody that needs like the desktop replacement. Like, say you don't have a desktop, then you probably want to get the 16. You know what I mean? Like, you probably, unless you plan on taking the 14 and docking it to like an actual desktop situation. But if you don't want to buy that, you don't want to buy a keyboard, mouse, monitor, speakers, you don't want to buy all that shit. Say you just want to have one and done. Maybe you just get the 16. If you're going to work off of it and make it like your life machine, then yeah, maybe. But like for me, it's like I already have like the desktop, like I can plug in and have it, you know what I mean? If I'm on the go, I probably appreciate the mobility more. So the 14 is kind of where I think it is the sweet spot. Plus the 16 is a lot thicker than even the Intel one. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I felt like the Intel one was
already... Is the 16 one thicker than the 14?
What do you mean, like thicker wise? Like, well, they're the same thickness. What I'm saying is, like,
like actually? Okay.
Like if you compare the Intel 16-inch MacBook Pro to the new M1 16-inch MacBook Pro,
I see what you're saying.
It's like significantly bigger. And I already felt like the 16-inch MacBook Pro when I had the Intel one was
big boy.
Kind of big.
Yeah. So here's where I'm at. You're getting the 14. We're pretty much the same person, so I'll have your input from the 14.
Yeah.
I actually ordered a 16 for myself for work. It's not a personal use laptop, it's a work laptop, but I purposely ordered the 16 for work for two reasons. One, I want to see how the 16 is. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to see if I like that size. And two, I do a ton of stuff for work, right? Because I wear like 30 hats at work. So chances are I'll have like a video editing or rendering on my desk next to me while I'm doing something else on my Surface Book.
Right.
So in that scenario, the only screen I'll have is the MacBook screen. And it's not really leaving with me, right? It's kind of just sitting on my desk next to me.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be fine, right? Like, I think it's going to be, the 16 is going to be unreal, actually. I want it just because it's like the beautiful display at 16 inches. It's going to be gorgeous, right?
That's kind of where I am too, because like the last two MacBooks I've had, the last three ones, the last two, they were 13s. And I love that size.
Yeah.
Like I love that size. You know, it kind of killed the 12.9 iPad for me because it's roughly the same size as that. It's actually lighter than a 12.9-inch iPad and Magic Keyboard cover. Mm-hmm. So it's lighter than that. You know what I mean? Like that form factor really hits home for me.
Like it's weird because if like obviously I enjoy using the 16 more when I'm just sitting at a desk or something because it's like so good. But if I'm like on the couch and it's on my lap, like it's the 16's really a chunk.
The 13 and the 14 really shine there.
Yeah, I feel like, and that's where I want to be. Like I've been using my laptop a lot more lately, so I'll sit on this couch back here and I'll be lounging with it. You know, I've been playing with Ableton, making music, and it's been a blast. And to do that on the couch, just chilling.
Can I tell you that the lack of touch bar is one of the biggest driving factors to making me upgrade or making me want to upgrade?
Yeah, that's
and this is someone who likes the touch bar, right? But it's coming at it from a different approach. It's coming at it from an approach that now that the new MacBook Pros don't have it, it's just going to become vaporware for developers. Like they're like
it's gone.
Like
it's on the way out. Yeah.
I can almost guarantee like Capture One 2020 or Capture One update 2022. The next one coming out will probably not support it. I don't know how many updates we have left with Davinci Resolve supporting it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things now that like I know that it's just gonna eventually no longer be supported. So every time I see it, it's just a reminder that I basically have dead technology.
It's gone. Yeah, it's basically gonna fizzle out and disappear.
Yeah.
And like I agree that I like the touch bar, but it was never utilized in a meaningful way to me. And
except for those Davinci Resolve color grade boys, dude.
That's neat, but I never played with that. So at this
I didn't either. I found out like when it was on its way out.
Yeah, it's like I'm not interested. I think at this point I just want to go back to the physical keys. I think function keys are better.
Are you going to have your 13 M1 and the 14 at the same time?
Yes.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
I need a side-by-side keyboard comparison because some people say they are different and some people say they are similar.
Like the feel, or in what way? Yeah,
just like typing. You know what I mean? Like type a few sample sentences out.
Yeah, so I just want to put out for the podcast that, Randy and I have been talking about producing a lot of video content for our YouTube channel other than the podcast. So what we want to do is publish, reviews, tech videos, much like you would see online. We've been kind of interested in putting out that kind of content specifically for YouTube. And what I wanted to do was do some sort of a little review of my 14-inch. And in that video, I would obviously compare it to my current M1
That's a great
13-inch.
That's a great idea.
I wanted to put it there and just kind of, I'm probably going to line up like all my MacBooks that I have, because I have like Amanda's 13-inch Air, my 13-inch Pro, and then the 14-inch new one, and then I'll even have
wow, you have like the full spectrum of M1, dude.
Yeah, and then I have like a really old, like, what is it, the 12-inch like MacBook.
I love that thing, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that in the video too, just because I have it.
I loved it.
Yeah, with the only problem with it is it has the butterfly keys.
It does.
So I have an actual working example of what the butterfly keys were.
Perfect.
So
perfect.
I might mention that in the video.
Is that going to be your first video?
It will. Yeah, I think so. And I'm gonna go pretty high with the standards on it, because I wanna take my time with it, but I also want to make it like kind of nice. I want to make it a nice.
My first video is obviously going to be the iPhone 13 video.
Yeah. Talking about your experience with that. I'm really excited to see that, actually. It's going to be different. We haven't really done this type of video in this kind of professional way before.
Yeah,
our target is kind of like that Snazzy Labs kind of target.
So there's something that I feel that we can bring to the table that's a little bit unique. So like you have Snazzy Labs, and I'll bring up Snazzy Labs, I'll bring up MKBHD. All of these people, you go to their channel, and before you watch the video, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Right? Like, while I would love for Eric to live in the same house with me, that's not the case, right? So we are in this scenario now where you may get two varying video styles and video techniques on the same channel. So that may bring something unique to us that not a lot of channels have. You know what I'm saying? Like
what I want to do is
it won't feel like every video is on autopilot. Or it's just edited from the same timeline.
Here's what I'll say, dude. I know for a fact, as a tech reviewer, right? It's pretty typical that the format is you cover the product, you talk about its specs, you talk about, and by the time people get to our channel to watch it, they've already been through the ringer. They already know all that stuff. So I'm not going to dwell on check out these Geekbench scores. You've seen them, dude. You've seen them. You don't need to come to my video and get more of the same.
Bringing unique content is kind of where we're at.
Yeah, so I'm going to be like, look, guys, you've seen the numbers. I'm going to give you my real-world tests. I'm going to give you my results, what they mean to me, how that makes me feel, and who do I think this project is for. And I'll run my own unique tests. I'm going to do my own little weird benchmarks like RimWorld, because I play RimWorld, dude. Does
that have a Mac OS client?
It doesn't have it does have a Mac client, but it's not. It's
M1.
The Intel. It's Intel, right?
Okay, so
it's Rosetta 2. So, but it'll still be a fun game to benchmark, because it ran so good on the M1 13-inch. So I'm really excited to see if it'll be even better.
Nice,
Probably
man.
not, because single core performance I don't think is way better.
The same from what I've seen.
Exactly. So I don't really expect a performance increase, but it might be awesome. I don't know. We're going to test it. So I'm really going to just run my own unique tests.
That's exciting.
I'm going to basically have a no bullshit approach to my review, and just give you my impressions raw, and obviously we're going to script these reviews because I want to make sure that I'm not like stumbling all over myself like I do in these podcasts, you know?
Yeah, we are all over the place, guys. You know, like we're still kind of getting our feet wet. We're still dabbling, and like the one thing we do have in our camp is like we can talk. Like just to give you some behind the scenes with us, we wanted to target these podcasts at an hour. I don't think we've had one that was less than an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know, it's hilarious. Yeah, we talk all day.
I do want to say that the graphics performance on the M1 Max really blew me away. Just from what I've seen online,
the benchmarks.
Like coming from what the base M1 is, and realize that it's basically the same process.
Yes.
Like it's not like a jump in architecture, right? Like we're not talking M1 to M2. We're talking basically the same architecture,
scaled up,
just scaled up. It's pretty ridiculous.
Well, we knew it was already good, right? Like we knew that the M1 was good. And like with GPUs, because it's like a multi-threaded workflow, it's just like throw more GPU cores in there and it's going to scale pretty linearly, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get amazing. And they not only did that, but then they increased the memory bandwidth. They doubled it for the max. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing. Like certain workloads are going to really feel that performance increase.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can get like a 3080, 3090. I think the 3080 is like the best you can get on a laptop.
Yep. Yeah.
And like it can perform like better in some ways, although at like a huge power increase, right? Like you're not going to be able to game on battery, right? Yeah, exactly. So like the thing is, the games that do run on your M1, you're going to be able to play those on battery and like have good performance. You know what I mean? Like that's, to me, that's a bigger deal than people make it out to be. Like when I had the 16-inch Intel MacBook Pro and I was playing World of Warcraft at like max graphics and I could only get like less than an hour of play before I was empty. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's not going to be the case. If I'm playing World of Warcraft on my new, like on the new 14-inch with like my graphics jacked up because I can now, I'm going to get the 4 hours plus battery because the chip's just so efficient. Like to me, that's a big deal for a machine that's portable,
it's a huge
right?
deal. It's also a huge deal to me that Apple pointed out that you get the same level of performance plugged in or on battery.
That's great. I hate how... This is one thing, like I had a coworker, she bought a new laptop. It's like an MSI or like an Asus or something. And as soon as she's on battery, the laptop frame limited you to like 30 FPS.
Yeah.
It was like just to throttle performance to get like enough battery life out of it at that point. I thought that was crazy. I was running the Unigen Heaven benchmark, and as soon as I unplugged power, it was just locked 30.
Gone.
And then as soon as I plugged in, it was like, okay, well now it's 120 frames per second or whatever, high refresh rate display. So I thought that was fascinating, but that's not something you get out of this Apple product. It's just like all performance all the time. I love that, you know?
Yep.
So I don't know, dude. I'm super pumped for tomorrow.
I'm hyped for you, man. I'm sure I'll get pictures like you do with the lens.
Tests to run. Okay.
I will.
And if you have any ideas for content that will be good for my video, let me know, because I'm gonna be I'm planning a script. Okay. I'm gonna do these tests and I'm gonna record kind of like, you know, as I'm doing them. I'll probably do some videos and stuff. Kind of like, you know how like sometimes you get a video of a guy like hovering over a laptop and he's like, "Yo, check this out, dude," and he's doing it in real time. That's kind of like the Linus feel.
I want to see games that are specifically optimized for the M1.
They need to come out, dude.
Well, I think
like World of Warcraft. What else? Like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but you have to buy that on the App Store.
Yeah,
you know
weird.
What I mean?
Weird.
I don't want to buy it again. I already have it on Steam, right?
I mean, like I could think of a lot of tests. So, like one thing that like I like really got my my nads pumped, dude, was and it wasn't even really like a laptop review, right? It was kind of him just talking because he's not really a tech YouTuber. But Peter McKinnon's video where he was editing photos without a problem and exporting a video in the background.
Yeah, that's actually kind of huge, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, my desktop computer is a 3900 XT. with 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 megahertz, and I have a 3090. And when I export a video in Davinci Resolve, like even my TeamSpeak, I go robotic.
Yeah. I was having the same problem. I was doing a Davinci Resolve export. It was taking a while, and I had Capture One open, and I wanted to edit a photo, and like the photo would not, you know how like you zoom in and it has to pop in? It was like not popping, dude. I was like, come on, pop. And it just wouldn't work. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do editing in Capture One. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just wait, you know? So that sucked, but you know, being able to have like the that's actually one thing I'm going to do for the video is, you know, I obviously have my desktop. So I want to compare not only against like the 13-inch M1, but also against like my desktop and what it can do, right? Because,
you know,
that matters.
You also have to compare not only export speed, because like everyone does that, but
just timeline performance. I
was say, like, if you have a way to like compare timeline editing,
I absolutely do,
with and without proxies, like that would be awesome.
Well, I do, because like I have a bunch of projects that I still have, and I can open them right on different platforms. So, and actually, I plan on taking some 8K footage, 4K footage, and just like creating a project and seeing how that project performs across the different platforms, right?
Yeah.
And I'll probably, this is something that I probably won't like find a way to measure. Like some people measure, you know, in mathematical ways. And if you're doing timeline performance, you can't really measure it. You kind of just go by feel. You're like, oh, okay, I'm scrubbing through. It feels pretty good. And then you go over to the next thing. Oh, this feels better. Like I'll be able to kind of quantify that as much as I can.
Yeah.
But like it's going to be a challenge, right?
Good luck with that. Yeah. So be prepared for next podcast when we talk about the M1 Max again.
Because I'll have it. So, and you know what? The next podcast is going to be weird because I'll be in a hotel room. If we can get it to work on the internet, on the hotel internet, we'll do it. But if not, we might just have to postpone it.
Okay.
You know, until I come back on Thursday. So
sweet.
It might be like better on Thursday because I'll be back. It's up to you.
That's fine with me.
Okay. With me. So we'll talk about it then.
Yeah. More to come.
More to come, dude.
So, got my Apple Watch Series 7 today, dude.
Oh my gosh! So you were waiting how long for that thing, dude?
October 8th. So just a little backstory. I ordered it October 8th at 8:02 a.m. EST, which is literally the second the store went live.
Wow!
And my delivery date was November 1st to November 8th, so I did get it a little early, but still a little miffed that I didn't actually get it on launch day.
Yeah.
I literally just set it up, so we're a little late recording the podcast because I had to set it up.
Verizon, dude.
Maybe it was a silver lining because you guys might end up with better video quality because of it. Anyway, I digress. The screen is massive. I haven't had it enough to do any like real world testing between my old Series 6, but so far I'm just beyond where it's ecstatic to have an Apple Watch again.
Can I just say something? Like before we get into anything, do you see this right here?
No.
I have eye tracking too now. You see that?
Yeah.
That's hard to fucking push.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me grab mine. Dude.
Like, I cannot push this for the life of me, dude. Like, all right, there he goes. But basically what I'm going to say, because he's gone, all right, is whatever I want, because this is my podcast now. So, you know, I can do whatever I want now on the podcast because he's gone. So, okay, here he comes. But yeah. Up. Hold on. Focus, dude. Put your hand out. Oh, there it is. Much better, dude. So that's the thing. He's got like big old buttons he can push, right? Look how bad this is compared. So come back. Yeah, that's much bigger. So his Apple Watch is dead because he literally just got it. He's charging it. So, but the idea is the pin, you know, okay, I see you're back now. So the thing is the buttons, okay, two things. The buttons are small and they're off to the side and it pisses me off. Like I have to hit them and then hit the little check button, and it's like they're really small, and it's just like annoying. Another thing that's annoying is I feel like I have to put in the freaking pin every 2 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, you know how like in the Apple with Apple Watch, if you unlock your phone, it unlocks your Apple Watch.
I just did that. I was just going to talk about that.
Amazing. Yeah. Right? That's so good. Samsung, why isn't the case for your watch on with your phone? Like, why can't I do that? And like why do I have to unlock it to begin with? Like, I don't even think on the I don't think you have to unlock it unless you use like Apple Pay. Maybe I'm wrong, but
on what? The watch?
Yeah. Or no, you do just have to unlock it, like when you put it back on, right?
If I take it off my wrist, it'll lock, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, I just put it on, and then I just instinctively check my phone, and it unlocks my Apple Watch, right? Like, so I never really enter the pin. You know what I mean? Like,
this is where like Apple gets it right. Like, they thought about the ergonomics, right? They have like They have big buttons for these numbers, whereas like on the Galaxy Watch 4, it's like tiny ass buttons, and it's so annoying. I was in the car this morning. I got a buzz on my wrist. I was like, okay, I want to read that. I had to unlock it. And I'm like, okay, I'm driving. I'm going to die trying to unlock this. I literally wanted to just glance and see who it was or something. And I couldn't even do that without unlocking it. And then I got into a car crash and died because I couldn't do it.
So I will say that the brighter always on display and the larger screen are like the two things you noticed, right? Like they're the only two real big changes. But it's a point now, guys, where like there's barely a brightness difference between always on display and when the screen is active.
Yeah.
Like ABL on my monitor is a bigger difference than the dimming for my always on display on the watch now.
Wow. I mean, dude, I'm so jealous. I know that I would go and get the Apple Watch and the iPhone and all that, but I'm on the fold train, dude. I'm folding still.
He's folding, dude.
I gotta stay with the fold for a while, dude. I got it, and when I got it, I basically told myself like I'm staying here. I think
look at that watch face, dude.
I mean, yeah, it's that new one. It's that new clean one. I like it. I thought it was a neat face.
It's a very neat face.
Yeah, I liked it. So, I think the Apple Watch is cleaner. For sure. I don't really dig I don't hate it, the Galaxy Watch. I think it's just not as good. That's just what it boils down to.
I don't want to poo-poo on it too much because they're definitely making steps in the right direction, the Galaxy Watch.
Yeah, I mean it's serviceable, honestly.
It's
like
kind of
if you're on Android, you need this.
You do.
If you want a smartwatch.
Yeah. It's kind of like what I told my friend who bought the Pixel 6, who I talked to earlier.
Yeah.
Is that, in my opinion, and like in the opinion of like actual benchmarks and stats, Apple is just so far ahead in like every aspect. So like he linked the Pixel 6 Geekbench scores in our group chat, and he's like, "Oh, it's not that bad, right?" And I looked at what the scores were, and you know what they were comparable for? The iPhone 10 from 2017.
Oh no!
Like,
oh no!
like
That's
27.
Not how you do it.
Yeah,
that's so bad.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So of course my meme side came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's not bad. Look at these iPhone benchmarks." And he's like, "Oh, wow!" And then I said, "They're from 2017."
Yeah, it's really funny because we just said earlier that we're in the Apple camp largely because of software, and we go to Android because of hardware.
Right,
but it's kind of the opposite in a lot of ways too, because Apple do have some solid hardware. They do.
See, Apple's hardware is solid, but it's home, right? Like,
yeah,
like, and like that's part of like my theme in my video. So like a little teaser, like we like to go on vacations a lot, because like they're fun, right? Like going to Disney World is fun, right? But I couldn't imagine living in Disney World and being on all the time, right?
Yeah,
like you kind of just want to go there for a little getaway. But home is where you live. Like home is
dude.
Like home is comfortable. Home is nice, and that's kind of where the iPhone is, right? Like going to a hotel and like staying in like this shitty ass bed that like people had sexy time all over. It's cool for like a week, and then you're like, I just want to come home, man. Like, I just want to go home where like the bed's always warm and like the food is good. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean, dude. I'll say this about the Fold. Like, it's not to go into another Fold phone podcast, but I got to say, like, it's it's still great. I love it.
Yeah, I know, man. Like,
I can't leave it. Like, I want an iPhone because I need that integration, and I because I have Apple products and I have HomeKit. That's probably the biggest thing. So I shouldn't have ever left, but you know, I'm kind of stuck with the Fold at this point. So but it's not like I'm upset about it. It's a freaking Fold. It's awesome. So
yeah, the phone folds in half. Yeah,
it's awesome.
I wouldn't complain too much about that.
Yeah. So yeah, any other? I mean, you haven't had the Apple Watch long enough to really say much else. But your first impression, good.
First impression, I mean, it's basically a better version of the watch I had. Which is kind of like Apple's camp, right? Like, it's not new. It doesn't fold. You know, it's not a folding watch.
The redesign they did with the new MacBooks, the MacBook Pros, I think is like kind of funny because it's like a little bit of the retro vibe.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Know? And they showed it in the video. Can you confirm, or can anyone confirm, if the bottom of the thing has like an embossed MacBook Pro on it, like they showed in the keynote?
Yeah, I'll confirm, and I'll say this: it definitely does. It's like recessed. It says MacBook Pro or whatever. But I'll confirm when I get it.
You know already it does?
Yeah, I do for a fact. I've watched like enough videos, people showcasing it. Yeah, I know it does. I think that's super nice. I love it.
I do too. I was hoping it did.
It does. It looks so good. I can't wait to get it tomorrow. I don't know. I might do a first impressions video instead of the review first, like just to kind of give you my hot take, because those are always exciting.
They are hot takes.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I feel like doing it. But yeah, I don't know. Super excited, dude.
Don't act like you're not going to call me the second you get it.
Oh, yeah, I will. That's for sure, dude.
Yeah, duh.
But yeah, what's our next topic, dude? Do we have one?
We have one topic left on this agenda, and that is the Geforce Now streaming update.
So, dude, I don't know anything.
Sure. So
what's exciting? Cause
real quick and dirty, they upgraded their blades, their server blades. Yeah. So everyone who subscribes to Geforce Now in some form gets a 3080.
Okay.
So that's pretty huge. They also upgraded their infrastructure and cut latency by over 2 times.
Wow, that's actually Okay, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. From where? What do you mean latency by over 2 times? Like,
they said
it's going to be relative, though.
It 100% is relative, right? But
like, what's the endpoint they were measuring against? You know what I mean?
Who knows? Either way.
Okay, well, maybe the asterisk is the up to, right? Like, so best case scenario, you're getting 2 times.
We know how people market things. Yeah. So the articles I've read are extremely positive. They still say that if you're a competitive gamer, it's not really your thing. But I think the example they gave was they were doing blind tests if someone's playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That is the Viking one.
Yes.
And the person who was playing it didn't know it wasn't a local copy.
So can I say something, dude?
Yeah.
So, we just streamed, I know recently I just streamed New World from my PC to my work. And that was good.
Yeah.
That was well into the playable area to me. Like the response, like the input. Now, obviously that's a hop, skip, and a jump, like from this house. I'm talking about location, right?
Yeah.
Like the latency between my house and my work, because it's not that big of a distance.
But does that go through Steam at all? Does that go through Steam at all? So like, does that go out to Steam? No, it doesn't use
like Steam as a. In that case, it would be like Steam as a proxy, so to speak. If it did, it doesn't do that. It goes straight from computer to computer. From the way I understand it, right?
Okay.
Because typically, actually, you know what? Maybe you're right. It depends.
Because I know we have that problem with like Teams calls at work, right? Like, I get texts all the time like my Teams call is laggy, and like we have a dedicated fiber line, right? So it's not us. And then I have to remind them that, like, listen, man, like, we're just a conduit, right? So like it goes up, it leaves us, it goes up to some Microsoft,
Yeah.
CDN, and then they handle it up there, and then other people connect to a CDN, and then it routes within their CDN, and then we get UDP packets out to you and the people who you're on the call with, right? Like there could be a lot of transmission breakdowns between, you and the person you're talking to.
So I know for a fact if you're on, so this is the way I was doing it. Tell me if you were doing it a different way, but typically if I'm on my LAN, like if I'm on like my laptop, I can see other devices on my LAN that have Steam up. And so all I do is I VPN with WireGuard onto my LAN, and then I can see my local network stuff. So then I can connect to like
that's how I do it. That's how I do it.
So in that case, it is a direct point to point.
Yeah.
Right?
If you go through WireGuard, it probably is. Yeah. So there are some really shady things going on here that Nvidia is doing, and I just want to touch on them really quickly because there has been some tinfoil hat stuff. If you want to get that out, if you will.
Let me bust it out, dude.
So now, listen to this, dude. This service, dude, you have to pre-order it. Wait, because they're offering a service in limited quantities.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what? What? Like the GeForce Now service?
Yes.
You had to pre-order it.
Yes. So
you like when you had to do that with didn't Stadia you have to do that?
Well, this is a little bit different, right? Okay. So like you could join right now for what's called a premium rig. No other specs. It just says premium rig, which is $49.99 for 6 months. Or you can pre-order an RTX 3080 server for $100 for 6 months, and it's limited quantities, and you have to pre-order it.
Oh my god!
Only they have access to all of the new features. So now,
I don't like it.
Let me think of it this way, okay? So like, if you're Nvidia, right, you could either sell graphics cards one at a time, or you can start to build out your infrastructure and basically do a GaaS. Right, like a system as a service, but like a graphics card as a service.
No.
So, do you think that this is like a look into Nvidia's future, where you no longer buy a graphics card, but you basically rent one from them, from their server blade? Because it literally says on their website, like you can pull it up if you want. It's nvidia.com/en. I put in.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this, dude.
Yeah.
If that was the future, I'm concerned, but I mean, if like also Mac gaming is going to become a thing, then
yeah, like
because PC gaming is not going to be a thing anymore. It's going to be streaming.
Pull that up and look at the top, the top. Look at that, dude.
Pre-order open for all. Pre-order the new GeForce Now 3080 membership now.
Blast power, dude.
Oh no! Are you kidding?
And then scroll down to the bottom
in cloud
where it shows the tiers.
Devices RTX on. Wait. Do I have to click on it?
No. You just scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see it.
New games added every Thursday. Blah blah blah. Membership. Blah blah blah. Can it run Crysis? Now every device can. Get the Oh, look, everything. Safari, Edge Beta, dude. Let's go. GeForce Now. Only on GeForce Now. You bought it, you own it. Is that true? I guess if you're using your own library.
Yeah, connect to your own store and stream your own library of games.
Oh,
so, like, it has Steam integration. Wait. There it is, dude. Look at that.
God.
Look at that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, if you want the 3080, you got to pay $100.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And it's limited quantities, dude. Limited quantities.
Oh my god, dude. Yo, do you want to pay a scalper, dude? Or
that's what I'm saying, dude.
God
like,
dang it, dude. No.
Like, this is why there's no 3080s. It's because they're building out server blades with the cores, man. And they're charging you $100 to rent one, $200 a year to rent one.
This is making me sick. I'm going to throw up, dude.
It's disgusting.
Can I just say, dude, like, okay, I'm not against, okay, yeah, I am against streaming. I think that for some people it can make sense. I think the reason I'm against it is because I care about performance.
I do too.
And the experience. And the thing is, streaming it is giving you a compromised experience in multiple ways. I'd say that we're at the point now where image quality, even over a compression algorithm is pretty good. Image quality can be pretty good, although it's not, because it's going over, it's running through a compression algorithm and being streamed
Let me ask
to
you a
at
question.
a certain bit rate. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you an unfair question.
Sure.
So, can I game stream my 3090 to my MacBook using Nvidia Game Stream? I essentially run my own GeForce now.
Okay, yes. Yes. You can do it through a application or an app called Moonlight.
Okay.
Moonlight will let you use the native GeForce streaming.
Have you used it before?
Yes.
How does it work?
It has one limitation.
Jank, or is it okay?
Which is you have to have your monitor turned on. That sucks to me. I hate that.
Yeah. Oof.
Wait, on? Yes. You have to have your display on.
Oof.
Which sucks because, like, we have OLEDs, right?
OLEDs,
so I just want to turn it off. Like,
yeah.
But you have to have a display on or it won't be able to mirror it. It's really weird. So I prefer Steam, which doesn't care. I don't think Steam cares, but
Wait a minute. I think even the Nvidia one requires your monitor on. I think I had a weird issue with that.
It probably does. Well, I'm saying if you do the native Nvidia stuff, like it does. I think it does. So I think Moonlight just taps into the Nvidia limit, and it has the same limitations, right? So it's probably just universal for Nvidia game streaming. Sure. But if you're using the Steam, it has different limitations. I think the Steam is using probably your CPU to do the encoding, whereas the GPU is being utilized for GeForce.
And it has to be a Steam game at that point, right?
Well, yes and no, because you can add third-party games to Steam.
And can you stream those?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, like for example, I have The Sims, and I added it to Steam, and then now I can stream The Sims.
So this is a live conversation, and again, it may help some of the viewers out there. If I wanted to stream, like Battlefield 2042 when it comes out to my iPad and MacBook, you would recommend to use Steam.
Yeah. So does Steam? I'm curious. Does Steam have the? Because for a time, it was blocked on the App Store. Is the Steam client there? I don't even know.
On iPad? I don't know.
Yeah, because it was one of those things where Apple had blocked it, and the Steam Remote app on Android, I do have it. Let
me just play games on iPad. Let's see if there's a link to it though.
Yeah, because you have to have the Steam Link app, and then like you can see it here. I have it. I don't know if you can see it all that well.
Yeah, I can see it.
Steam Link, yeah. So you can see I have the server. I can hit start playing, and it'll pull up.
I think we're good, dude. I think we're good. Hold on.
Steam Link. So if you can get that app.
If it's on my phone, it should be. It's yeah. Let me see really quick.
If you can get it, okay. So you just showed me the App Store. Yeah, it says on the iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple TV. Oh, wait, can you do it on the Apple TV?
That could be huge.
Holy shit.
That could be huge, dude. We gotta try this out, dude.
Dude, what?
Gotta try this out,
dude. If it's on the Apple TV, dude, oh my god.
Could you imagine that?
I'm so mad I didn't know that earlier because I was hooking up my Fold to the TV with the HDMI dongle.
There we go, dude.
Got it, dude. Okay, so let me just say that is awesome. I really do think Steam Link is awesome. If it's on the Apple TV, dude, that's busted. That's gonna be. I'm gonna use that because I love. The only problem I have. Let me say the one problem I have is like, I like HDR gaming, and so far streaming HDR gaming hasn't really worked.
I've been playing Cry 6 on my Series X, and I don't have any of the HDR problems I've seen online. I mean, like,
you're playing directly. You know what
I mean? Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying like I'm still in the camp that HDR on PC is jank to begin with.
It works, dude. It works. It's not as like
Tell
plug
that to
and play.
outsiders, dude.
Like, well, no, it works. It's like the same, dude. It's literally the same. In fact, dude. Did you just watch the video today from HD TV Test?
No.
About the PS4? They updated the PS4. So if you have a Sony, one of the new Sony like OLEDs, it'll automatically configure your PS4 to like to support like the HDR like that TV can do, I guess. Sure. Like it automatically configures HDR for you, but it does it in a shitty way to where you're losing information. That sucks. Like you're getting blown out whites and stuff. And so he's like, yo, don't use this auto config bullshit. You need to like configure it in this specific way. So it's still not like, I mean, on the PS5 side, sorry, I meant, if I said PS4, I meant PS5.
Yeah.
And it's still not quite there. And the Xbox might be a little bit better. I find that Microsoft has had better HDR like support. So it may be that they're doing a better job on the Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you had to tell me. Like you said, you've been playing Far Cry and it's been good.
It's been fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I've just noticed things with PC that like
yeah.
And again, I love PC. I'm not poo-pooing on the PC, but I've had bad experience with HDR on PC. Especially if you play games in full screen windowed, forget it. Which
is, if you don't really do that, right?
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean,
if you're playing HDR, it's basically full screen exclusive. And which sucks for a lot of, like, I know that if my buddy Tyler listens to this podcast, he's basically going to be like, oh no, that sucks, because I know he's a window mode kind of guy for everything. And so like that would, if he couldn't use a feature unless you're in full screen, like he'd be upset. You know, Windows 11 aims to fix some of these problems, but I don't think it does. Not fully. I could be wrong, but HDR is pretty awesome when it works. And I don't think you can do it over streaming. This was the whole point. Streaming HDR is difficult.
It is. Difficult.
And, you know, both ends have to kind of know, like, okay, this is the signal being sent. This is, you know, and then it's a codec thing. It's really annoying. It's like, okay, are you sending me a signal that's Rec 709 or is it BT 2020 or is it like something else? You know, like it's really annoying. But yeah, dude, streaming, like, just to go back to the actual topic so we can wrap it up, so we can bookend it. The GeForce Now, I think it's scummy to have the pricing tiers that they're doing. I hate it.
I don't like the pre-order thing.
I don't like the pre-order thing. I don't like any of this.
The limited quantities.
Like, why even have a free tier? It says 1 hour session length.
What the hell?
What the fuck am I gonna do with an hour, dude?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with an hour?
Yeah.
I can't. Doesn't make any sense. I play like one game of League and then hop off or something. Like what?
Yeah, and then like when does your timer reset? Like, can you go right back in, or is that you're done for the day?
Yeah. Like what?
Or is that like the China plan, dude?
I don't. Yeah, that's the China plan, dude. You get like 1 hour by law. It's so stupid. Oh, man. But yeah, it's just...
I knew this would tilt you, so I knew this was a good topic.
No, yeah, because it's a hot topic for me, dude. For like I said, two problems I have. It's I care about like the highest quality image and everything as possible, but also I care about latency. That's the biggest thing. Right. And you can't beat the laws of physics. You can't beat the speed of light. There's always going to be latency somewhere. And
I mean, coming full circle, that's part of the secret sauce of the M1, right? It's just there's no traces between RAM and GPU and CPU. It's right there, dude. You know,
that's the advantage of a SoC is everything's really close, communicating efficiently. There's no bottlenecks, right? There is, but you know, you don't really have board bottlenecks like you do. Right. If you design your SoC properly, like you are fully integrated. Everything is communicating. Everything is working. Low latency, and it's fantastic. And it's honestly, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but it's like really compelling. I kind of hope that we get cool desktops that have like killer SoCs and shit.
I think that will be the future. I think we're still a few years off.
There's always going to be custom builds. I think there's. I think
we're probably. I think a more realistic future is probably not in SoCs. I think SoCs are going to overtake the mobile market entirely.
Yeah.
But I think for desktops, I think we're still going to see the modularity we see now. But I think we're going to slowly see x86 instruction sets go the way of the South, and I think that everything will be ARM based.
You know, if I had to guess, dude, I think Nvidia is going to be a huge player in that world because they bought ARM, right? Mm-hmm. I have a feeling they're going to be making monster chips.
I have a feeling that we're going to probably at some point see a ARM based PC from Nvidia.
Yeah, I think that they would be the ones to do it. They'll probably make the first actual like Apple competitor regarding like Apple architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, Intel has been trying to make better chips, power efficient and all this. They have integrated graphics team. Like they're trying to push like their new integrated graphics. It just isn't good, dude. Just isn't. It's not there. ARM is just so much more power efficient. I don't know why, but yeah, it just is right now, dude. Anyway, dude, is that it? Should we wrap it up?
I think we have to, man.
All right, dude. It's okay. I want to wrap it up too. So let's pull in the music, dude.
Pull it in, dude. Reel it in.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the Technosthetic podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. We'll do it next week, probably the same kind of day as this week.
Yeah, probably Thursday again next week. Be prepared for more M1 coverage. Shocking, right?
More coverage coming, and then it's gonna be awesome. We'll see you guys next time on the podcast.
Peace.